This explainer is provided by Consult Safety and Engineering.
Today, we're going to break down one of the most vital safety systems in any high-stakes operation, the management of change process. You'll hear it called MOC for short.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why we even need to manage change so carefully. Then, we'll define what an MOC program really is, walk through the actual step-by-step process, and finally, we'll look at the expert teams and the specific roles that make it all click.
All right, let's dive into the big question. Why bother with all this formality?
Well, think about it for a second. When you're dealing with a really complex, interconnected system, even a change that seems totally simple on the surface can send these wild, unpredictable ripple effects through everything. And honestly, those effects can be disastrous.
And that's exactly where management of change comes in. Its entire purpose, its reason for being, is to make sure that any change, whether it's huge or tiny, doesn't accidentally create new dangers or make the old ones even worse. It's basically the safety net designed to catch those unintended consequences before anyone gets hurt.
Okay, so now that we get just how high the stakes are, let's get really clear on what an MOC program actually is, and, maybe more importantly, what even counts as a change to begin with.
At its core, MOC is just a formal process. You can think of it as a playbook, a structured system for spotting a proposed change, carefully checking out all its potential impacts, getting the right people to sign off on it, and then making sure everyone who needs to know knows.
Now, this right here is a super important distinction. Not every new piece of equipment automatically triggers this whole process. If you're doing what's called a replacement in kind, it's just a like-for-like swap. Same part, same specs, same job. That doesn't need an MOC. But the second you change the form, the fit, or the function of that part, even just a little bit, boom, it's officially a change, and the MOC process has to kick in.
And this really shows you how broad the scope is. The MOC process isn't just for some massive permanent factory overhaul. It absolutely applies to temporary fixes, to emergency changes you have to make right now, and yeah, even to those little tweaks that seem so minor you might not think twice about them.
Okay, so we know what qualifies as a change. Now let's walk through how the system actually works, from start to finish.
Generally, you're looking at 5 main stages. It all starts with a formal proposal, often called a request for change, or RFC. Then comes the real heart of the matter, the evaluation. If the team decides the change is safe to proceed, it goes up for approval. After that, it gets implemented, and this is key. That includes training for anyone affected. And finally, the whole thing gets reviewed and documented so you have a record.
Now, at the center of that evaluation step is this really powerful tool, the MOC checklist. And listen, this isn't just some simple to-do list. It's a really thorough guide that forces the team to think about every single way that change could possibly affect the system. It's designed to make sure nothing falls through the cracks.
So, on the physical side of things, the checklist makes the team ask some tough questions. How will this change affect our operating temperatures or pressures? What about flow rates? And crucially, how does it interact with our most critical safety gear, like our pressure relief systems and our alarms?
But it's not just about the hardware, right? The checklist also makes sure we cover the human element. Do our operators need new training to handle this? Do we need to update our maintenance procedures? Are all of our documents, from the operating manuals to the emergency plans, still correct after we make this change? It covers everything.
This leads us perfectly to the people who are actually using that checklist, and they are truly the engine of any successful MOC program.
So who do you actually need in the room to answer all those detailed questions on the checklist?
Well, you definitely can't have just one person sign off on it. A good MOC evaluation demands a team with a mix of skills. You need a group with enough collective knowledge and, this is so important, direct, hands-on experience with the specific change being proposed. It has to include experts from every single department that's going to be affected. And hey, if you don't have that expertise in-house, you have to be willing to bring in outside help.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. There is no one-size-fits-all team. The group is custom-built for the change itself. A really simple change might just need a small, focused review, but a highly complex one, that's going to require a much larger, more diverse team of experts. It's all about matching the level of expertise to the level of risk.
Okay, last piece of the puzzle. To make sure the whole system works and people are held accountable, let's clarify who does what.
A strong MOC program has really clear roles. You've got the change initiator. That's the person who proposes the change and explains why it's needed. Then there's the MOC program owner, who has that 30,000-foot view, making sure the whole system is working properly.
The evaluation team, that's our group of experts who get into the nitty-gritty of the risks. And finally, you have the MOC approvers. These are the leaders with the authority to give the final go-ahead, but only after that tough evaluation is totally complete.
So let's wrap this all up. It can be easy to look at MOC as just a bunch of red tape that slows things down, but that is completely missing the point. A well-run MOC program isn't there to stop progress. It's there to make sure that progress, that innovation, happens safely by putting expert knowledge right at the center of the decision.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to take back with you. When the next big, critical change comes up in your world, is your team truly equipped to manage it?